Hello, I'm Melody Pesh, and this is Dream Diva. Thank you for joining us. I have a really interesting friend here named Carrie Smith from
Chesapeake City, Maryland.
We're in Maryland, y'all. And she is a blended family practitioner. She's learning how to work with all kinds of scenarios in her own family where she has a blended family and has all of these. How many children in all there? You've got kids from your...
There's 5 total, but 4 that live in our house.
Okay,
Yes.
So 5 total, 4 in the house. Now we're going to talk about how dreams might correlate with some of these literal situations, right? So a dream, and we want to share the scenarios because it could be many, many dreams. So we're going to talk about lots of different ways this blended family situation might look in your dreams. So if you are parent dreaming, child dreaming, and you're with family, but you're in somebody else's home, that could be a scenario connected to a blended family where you're not necessarily in your literal residence, but you're in a home with your family or part of your family. Another one might be that you are in your home, but you're not with your own children or you're not with your own parents, okay? Another one might be you've got 2 homes that you live in and 2 sets of parents or 2 sets of families completely, and that's including siblings. You might also have siblings that you know are your brothers and sisters, but they're not actually blood related. So these are scenarios that might be about the subject that we're talking about today, which is about blended families, and we know that those happen through dreams that the Creator talks to you about dreams. You've had dreams like that, haven't you,
Yes.
Carrie?
Mm-hmm.
And probably your kids as well, right?
Yes, absolutely.
It might be a little confusing to them,
Yes.
like, what? I've got 2 houses.
Yeah.
But they literally do, right?
They do. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Now, before we get started too much, what I want to do is make sure that you can connect with Carrie Smith because you might want to talk to her. You might have some questions. And she has a lot of information and a deep, deep wisdom from Creator. So you're going to want to talk to her. And you can find her on Instagram at Carrie, Kerri, .a.smith, Smith, on Instagram. That would be a good place to connect with her. So Carrie, Kerri, .a.smith, Smith, on Instagram. So if you have any questions, that would be a good place to connect with her. Now you're also, you're starting to do some writing.
I am.
You're writing a blog.
Yes.
And we've already shared one of your blogs on the Dream Diva page on Facebook. We're going to be doing more of that. I just need to get that. I lost my social media person, so I'm having to do it myself. So we're going to be doing more of that. But I thought that you're just the way you speak about blended families and the situations that come was very wise and extremely poignant because that's a really difficult position for a lot of people.
Yes.
People, for the children, for the parents. Tell me how you get that to work so copacetically in your life and what you've learned over your time, sort of getting prepared for navigating these situations well.
Well, I think what first started was you always think about the kids. What's the best for the children?
Sure.
And, it wasn't always easy. It wasn't always smooth. But at least for me, understanding, okay, the children are innocent. They didn't ask for this, so let's put the best scenario we can together for them, even if that makes us go to the back burner, us meaning the parental units.
Sure.
So that's how it started. And then lots of communication, that is a key, even when it's difficult to communicate. And
Sure.
that communication at first can look like it's through texting or through email. So emotions don't get involved. You don't,
right.
to stick to the points and speak about what needs to be spoken about.
Okay, there's some wisdom.
Yeah, so first is communication, key. And then the second thing is patience, because not every parent in your parental unit is going to be on the same page as you.
Sure.
So you have to be patient and you have to respect their boundaries with that. You have to. That's key.
That's got to be tough.
It is. It's very hard, especially when you want to be right, or when you know you're right, or when you think you're right, or if there's a point to prove. All of that emotion has to be put on the back burner.
What do you do when you have a kid that you know is sensitive and is dealing the best they can, but having some real difficulty and dealing with some trauma from the divorce, and the added parent, in your case, the wife of your ex-husband, doesn't understand that? What do you do with that? How do you work with that?
Well, you have to, again, have a lot of patience. You have to be very careful about what you speak. So for me, if one of my husband's children is having a difficulty with the situation or with their reality, never, ever, ever speak against the mom, because their loyalty is always there.
Sure.
You also cannot put the dad, your now husband, in the middle to choose between you and the child. That is, you cannot do that.
Right.
Because they would choose their child.
Sure.
And that makes, a situation in your marriage. So,
well, and our job as
Yeah.
parents to take care of our children,
Yes.
right? So yeah, okay.
yes. So, you have to wait until, again, it is so emotional. When you're talking about a blended family, it's so emotional.
imagine.
And emotions are high and crazy a lot of the time. So you have to wait until that settles down, and then speak about love and speak through love, because love is what matters, and love is what is truly going to win over the child, your husband, his ex-wife, if you're lucky. If you do it right, it's not luck, but if you do it right, that is what it is. You have to think through and talk through love.
It seems very complicated, because not only are you trying to win over her children, but you need to win her over.
Yes.
So that you guys are all on the same page, and vice versa.
Yes. It takes time. It takes time, and you can't rush it. You might be at one pace and they will be at another. And if you can see into the future, and you can see that happening where there's going to be unity, you have to be patient, and you have to wait, and you have to focus on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask, where your husband's children are concerned, have you had conversations with them about, I want to support you, I love you, I want to be here for you, I realize I am never going to be able to replace your mother. Where does that what kind of position does that look like for you?
I follow their lead on that, on the kids.
Okay.
So when they come in, some practical things, when they come into your home, if you're not comfortable having that conversation yet, when they come back from their other parents' house, so when they come back from their mom's house, you welcome them home. I always say, welcome back home. I'm so glad you're here. I missed you. How was your time with your mom? What did you do? Those type of questions, so they know that they're welcome, especially when they're coming into your house. You're not their mom.
Sure.
And so that kind of breaks the barrier down.
But you're really also, you're like honoring and congratulating them. It's almost like this honoring of their time with their mother, and realizing that's a deep place, but you are this secondary support, saying, how did it go? I'm sure you had a great time. That's gotta be important. That sounds really good.
Yes, and it gives them permission to say, yeah, I had a great time with my mom, instead of coming into the house being like, I don't know if I like her. It gives them permission to be okay, to come back home and be fine.
And have you dealt with a situation where they feel like they are there's this threat, or they feel like they're disloyal to their mother if they like you.
Absolutely. In the beginning, I feel like that's common across the board. Even if nothing's ever spoken against the new wife, if you will, the second wife, it's inbred in them, because it's not inbred in them. It is instinctive in them because it is their mom.
Right. They want to take care of their mom.
They absolutely. I felt like that, and we dealt with that, and I have just spoken plainly, age appropriate, because we've been married 7 years now, so they've grown up with me. Age appropriate, and I've said, I love you. You are here in this home. This is your home, and whatever pace you need to go at is what I'll go at. And if whatever conversation you want to have, we can have, whether that's about your mom or how you feel about me.
I think accepting them where they are is really the biggie, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, I know you're having a tough time, but I'm here for you, but this is your home too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so sweet, and it's so good. And I don't know that people know how to do that necessarily.
I think because we're too focused on how we feel, and this is my territory. You're coming back into my home now, and that's not the correct way to be. And another thing that really helped was when she would come into the driveway to pick them up, I would always say, "Tell your mom she can come in." Now that didn't happen right away.
Okay.
But eventually, when she was ready, she would come into the foyer, and then she came into the kitchen, and then she had a cup of coffee. So it's a gradual thing, and the kids see this, which is ultimately why you're doing what you're doing.
Right. And you mentioned at some point that there comes a time where it's important for both of the family parental units, you said, to be friends.
Yes.
How did that happen for you, and what does that look like as opposed to what it looked like before you were friends?
Yeah. Again, it was gradual, but what that looks like for us is that we have dinners without the kids now. We'll hang out because our kids are teens, so they can be home by themselves.
The two parental units.
So my husband and I will go to his ex-wife's house and sit down for dinner without the kids. And we talk about the kids, of course. That's the common denominator between all of us. However, yes, it's just, there's no stress. There are stresses in life, but it's just not the stress of, I can't look at her, I can't talk to her, what is she saying? Like all of that we deal with in blended families, it's gone. It's gone. And there's unity there,
really,
and the kids see that.
It, right?
Yes, absolutely.
It's like putting it all out on that. That is brilliant.
Yeah, and it's good.
I love that. Oh, wow. I wish we had more time to talk about more, but we'll talk to you again, Carrie.
Absolutely.
This is so phenomenal. Well, I just want to thank you guys for joining us today, and please connect with Carrie Smith on Instagram. Again, Carrie, Kerri.a.smith, S-M-I-T-H, on Instagram, because she will be able to answer all kinds of questions, and you'll really want to connect with her. So thank you, Carrie, for joining us. You are a delight. It's so much fun talking to you. And just remember that a dream is not just a dream. So when you've got kids that are having dreams to this effect, especially if you have a blended family, sit down and talk to them honestly about it, and get with Carrie if you need some wisdom on that. Thanks for joining us.